Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another channel update. I seem to do these about every 9 months or so, but this one is coming a little earlier than I wanted it to. You may remember this clip from my last channel update. It says flat out on the page I don't intend on using it for anything, and it's just there so that nobody else claims my name or pretends to be me. I want the existence of this Patreon to be completely ignored until the day I feel I'm ready to officially roll it out. So it has come to this. 2018 has been a bit rough. I can keep this channel going just fine on my own for the most part, relying solely on backlog content. But for any new or relevant content or games coming out, I'm going to have to try to find ways to fund this, and there are a couple reasons why. Thing is, as said, 2018 has been rough, and this is mostly in terms of financial reasons. Back around February or March, Student Loan decided they were going to start taking $300 more a month. That was hard enough to handle. Then in April, literally on 4/20, I was laid off from my job. And the first Monday following, the government stuck me with an $800 bill from a tax reassessment. If you guys are worried, nothing serious did happen at my work. I never talk about where I work on my channel because it's not really that important, but I was the assistant audio editor for children's television shows, and the company I work for simply couldn't land the next show in time to extend my contract, and work ran out. I am hoping to resume work there again at some point, but for at least a few months, it's very unlikely I'll be getting work there anytime soon. And this type of work in the city that I live in is very difficult to come across, so I really don't know how long this period is going to last. If worst comes to worst, I will get a job at a Walmart so I can keep putting food on the table. So paying for new games right now while I'm on unemployment is really not in my best interest. But I didn't want to start Patreon without something to show for myself, so as you see in the title, Waifuware is finally ready to go. Back in January, I put out one episode. This was the pilot episode. It was on Deep Space Waifu. I put this out to gauge interest, and I'm happy to say that the interest was there. So since then, I've been working on more videos in the background and kind of just holding them back from you guys until I had a full season ready to go. This season is 10 episodes and 2 specials. Starting July 6th, every second Wednesday for the next 6 months is Waifuware Wednesday. If you're on Patreon, you're getting all of these 1 week early. If you're on Patreon at the time this video is live, the first episode is already ready to go. So Waifuware is a series that is going to be covering literally any game you can get on Steam that appears to be using sex to sell and does not cost a lot of money. After Deep Space Waifu went live, I went out and I bought a bunch of these on the cheap, and I've been working through them, and some of them have been absolute hell to get through. These games don't have to be made with any sort of art style, they don't actually have to contain nudity, they can be a game of any sort from anywhere in the world. As long as, in some fashion, they appear to be using sex to sell and they are cheap, I will do my best to cover them. These are going to work more as recounts of my experience with the game and less as reviews. Although most of these games don't, if these games involve a plot that should remain unspoiled, I will not spoil it. Otherwise, most of these are just dumb as hell, and I'm going to lay them completely on the table. And if you think I'm going to go easy on these games because they're cheap, you got another thing coming. When it comes to games that are this cheap, it's more important to me to look at them as whether or not they are worth the time to play. Because in the end, your time is far more valuable than the $2 you might spend buying one of these. It's my hope that having these 6 months worth of videos ready to go will give me more time to work on bigger videos and bigger reviews with less stress, so we do have that to look forward to as well. Now, a lot of Waifuware is already demonetized, as you probably expect, so you're probably going to see a little bit more shilling in this series and on this channel going forward. I will make an active attempt to plug my Patreon on new videos going forward. I do have other plans and other big projects in the works, but nothing is quite set in stone. One that I'm sure is going to be coming, but I don't know when, looks a little something like this. I'm sure one of you can figure this out very quickly. Now, we do have a number of tiers on Patreon. They are all $1, they all do exactly the same thing. You just buy in at the tier that reflects you the most. Whether you give $1 or $10, I do value all of you guys the same, and I want to reward you the same. Because no matter what, in the end, you guys are helping me, and that's what matters to me. I'm not expecting a change overnight, but if we can fund a game a month, I am absolutely more than grateful. In addition to getting content early, so long as that content isn't tied to an embargo, you guys will also be deciding on video topics for me to do at least once a month. Now this can be anything: 5 games that defined your childhood, favorite co-op experiences, Q&As. You want to ask me how to last longer in the bedroom? I'm probably not the expert, but fuck it, I'll answer it if that's the question that comes in through Patreon. My cat is literally licking the sofa. Psst. Stop it. Did I mention I made t-shirts? A few people asked in my Discord and a few people on Twitter. It took me months, but I came up with something. If you guys have any ideas, feel free to let me know, because I have no clue what I'm doing with this. So yeah, just to close out here, 2018 has been rough. At the very least, if you can like and comment on these videos, share them when you can, I'm absolutely more than happy. And on one last note, I owe all of you guys a huge thanks for something I'm sure you have no clue that you've been helping me with. So when I was employed, I was working a desk job, and for a beer lover like me and a metabolism like mine, it started to add up pretty fast. So what this meant, I had bought myself an exercise bike and tried to keep myself in shape. But I found it incredibly difficult to keep myself dedicated to this, and I found it incredibly difficult to run more than 10 minutes a night. To keep myself dedicated, I started setting up goals for myself. I would run my subscriber count every night. What this meant was, at 1900 subscribers, I would turn that 19 into minutes, and the double zeros into seconds, so 19 minutes. At 1930, I would run 19 minutes and 30 seconds. At 1980, I would be running 20 minutes and 20 seconds. By the time I made it to 2,000 subscribers, I'd get to take a small break and just run 20 minutes. And I kept going like this until we made it to 3,000 subscribers, and I was running 30 minutes every night. So you guys have actually been a pretty big driving factor for me to get myself in order and keep myself in shape while I worked my desk job and while I now sit at home doing nothing but playing video games and trying to make videos. So thank you all for all that you have done and for all that you've been doing and you've had no idea about. It's greatly appreciated. I hope to see you all around for the dawn of Waifuware, July 6th. It's official. It's starting. I hope you're excited. We got some fun games. We got some bad games. We got some exciting stuff coming forward. And I personally can't wait to see what Patreon comes up with for me to make videos on in the future. As always, folks, thanks for watching.